Well, several organizations of goodwill have put together food parcels to give to communities in Pietermaritzburg in KwaZulu-Natal. About 2,000 food parcels will be given to communities of Raisethorpe and Oribi village. It is where we find my colleague Maageketla Mohlabe. He's bringing us an update with regards to this goodwill. I guess it is a day of goodwill, 67 minutes. Well, one would say that this needs to be an everyday occurrence, isn't it? Given what we're going through as a country, especially during the past week. What's the temperature of views where you are, Brother Mohlabe?
Good day to you, Blaine. I can tell you that, I mean, you speak to different residents here, and you get a sense that this aid, these food parcels, over 200 food parcels, couldn't have come on a better day, Nelson Mandela International Day. And as you can see behind me, they are actually busy getting those food parcels. Blaine, we are of course live here in North Day, and this is one of the areas that was actually hit during the looting. And we understand, as I mentioned earlier on, about 7 shopping complexes were affected. They were razed down. We also understand that, I mean, racial tensions as well, as you heard from some of the residents earlier on, saying that actually led to their informal settlement razed down. We understand that, I mean, there were people who lost their lives there as well. But let's quickly bring in one of the organizers here to talk to us about this initiative. It couldn't have come on a better day, and that's what the residents are saying, Roger.
Well, thank you. It's a very difficult set of circumstances that we find ourselves in. There's a whole community down here that has been devastated. This is an informal settlement, and practically every shack in that informal settlement has been razed to the ground by the local community, who were angered by the activities of Monday and Tuesday. You know, Airlink has put together this initiative. It's a relief initiative. It comprises 91 volunteers from within Airlink and within the organization Herbert Smith Freehills, which is a legal firm, international legal firm, but also based in Johannesburg. And we've come down here to try and help. We've brought 2,000 hampers of food parcels, and the first part of the mission today is to hand the food hampers out to these devastated communities. What I've realized while I've been down here is that the little bit that we're doing isn't anywhere near enough. I've seen queues of hundreds of thousands of people. There are other organizations here as well, such as the Gift of the Givers, and there are massive queues. So the people here of Pietermaritzburg have been devastated. They've got no means to get to food. And that little bit that we're doing with the 91 volunteers in conjunction with Santako, who've been a wonderful partner, who facilitated the logistics of getting the foodstuff from Oribi Airport, Pietermaritzburg Airport, to where the food is most desperately needed. It's been a wonderful coalition. We've worked very nicely together. You can see in the background all of the volunteer workers that are helping with the food hampers and giving them out to the people, the needy.
And we understand this is just one of the 4 areas that you are going to be distributing the food parcels to.
Yes.
From there, it's not going to end there.
No.
You are going to actually help clean up the city, isn't it?
Yeah, so the next step of the mission is we've got these 3 other destinations where we're going to be distributing food hampers, and when we're done with the food hampers for the rest of the day, as far as we can, we're going to be helping the communities to clean up the city. So we've got a bunch of people, 91 volunteers as I've said, and they're all wearing their jeans and their dirty shoes so that they can get in, get their hands dirty and help to clean up as well.
Absolutely. Let's bring in Msunduzi, Mayor. Mayor, thanks so much for your time. Earlier on, I heard you telling us during a media briefing that the CBD is no longer a CBD now. About 15,000 jobs are lost. And this is, of course, in the wake of that incident that happened on Monday and Tuesday.
Indeed, our CBD is now a ghost town. This happened just in a matter of 2 days. About 15,000 jobs have been lost. We have lost more than 2.5 billion in terms of our economy here in the city. This assistance from Airlink, Santaco, Shoprite or Checkers and all their associates couldn't have come at the right time when we are remembering the father of the nation, Nelson Mandela, and we are calling to anybody, to everybody who is willing to assist to come on board, because one of our main worries is food security currently.
They are talking about racial tensions that were also in the mix during the unrest. Is that what you observed personally on the ground as well?
One of the beneficiaries here today actually lost his girlfriend, not as a result of looting, but as a result of the racial tensions that were starting to brew here. But working together with the local leadership here, we have now formed a committee between the African community and the Indian community surrounding this area here, so that they can start to engage one another, enter into a conversation, so that we can build this one community which is South African, rather than them looking at one another as various race groups.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Blaine. That's one of the mayors here. In fact, Msunduzi mayor here in Pietermaritzburg. And I can tell you, Blaine, that earlier on we spoke to Sports, Arts and Culture Minister Nadim Teta. He was here as well. But you probably be aware that, I mean, there have been calls from different parts of the country to say, why are they showing up after the dust has settled? Perhaps let's just listen into the interview that I did with him earlier on, if you have it on there.
Yes.
Just talk to us, Minister. I mean, today we can see that some of the volunteers have come through to actually assist people here in Maritzburg. Talk to us about this.
Well, the partnership of the mayor here, of the city of Msunduzi, with the corporate sector, and working with the different artists who have come forward and said they want to to lend a hand to ensure that we heal this past unrest, social unrest in the past week, which have happened. We have social cohesion advocates as well, and we are pleading to our people that they ought to live together. This violence is not going to help anybody. In fact, it's going to destroy. We have a history in this country where we have overcome violent situations. We can't go back there. So ours is to ensure that we implement this program of healing the nation, and artists and athletes are very key to that for us.
And Minister, you often then blamed to be only showing up after the fact.
I don't know what you are talking about.
I mean, that's what we've actually been heard. That
so
I mean,
supposed to happen here were we supposed to come and predict violence?
No.
I don't think you know what you are talking about.
No, Minister. The question is, yeah, during the unrest, politicians are at home. They are just watching the unrest at home. But then you're only showing up after the dust has settled.
Yeah. We're not security. Security was dealing with the situation.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thanks, Minister.